I'm Andrew Zimmern. Chicken again for dinner? Said no one in my house ever. Would you like to learn how to make these dishes? It requires a specific set of butchering skills. You'll be able to bone out chicken, roll it, tie it, make these little pieces of awesome, and you'll learn how to make the national dish of the Philippines as well, this stunning chicken adobo. These are two dishes that you're gonna wanna make again and again. Stick around, we're gonna get right to it. I'm gonna show you how to break down an entire chicken. You'll save about 40% over buying parts. Plus, you get secondary usage on some of the little things like the backbone and the wingtips that I save in a plastic bag and I use to make sauces, stocks, soups, etc. I like to take off the first two joints and use those for stock. So I go right through this little knuckle right here. There's literally a line right there, so you're gonna hit in the middle of the knuckle every single time. Second thing that I like to do is I pop my thigh. I just cut the skin and then pop it using my boning knife and pressing against the bone. I'm able to come around both sides of those pockets of meat that are referred to as oysters. So now we have this beautiful dark quarter. Pull the skin down and you'll actually see a line right there. The chicken tells me where to cut, and I go right through the socket. So there I have a leg, there I have a thigh. I'm gonna do the same thing. Pop, pressing against the backbone. I'm able to get both sides of that oyster, and I have this beautiful, beautiful dark quarter. I have this breast, and I'm just gonna cut this. I pull this drummy over there, comes straight down, and you get a really nice drummy with a big piece of that breast meat. There's a keel bone here, and you can feel it. If you're new to this, just feel where that keel bone is and make your first cut on one side of that keel bone. Then just come straight back and go on the other side of that keel bone. And I'm just feathering my knife. I'm pressing against the rib cage. And I have a beautiful skin-on, boneless chicken breast. If you would like to separate the tender, let's come right down. You want to take the skin off. All you do is pull it away. We have our keel bone here. That is the wishbone. And I'm pressing this side of my knife against it. So I'm going to do an airline breast with the wing attached. Come right down on that joint. We have the rib cage. So all I like to do, just give that a quick chop, and I put it in here. And I have about 1.5 pounds of chicken bones. One of the things that I think is super fun is to spin your knife around that drummy, scrape that down. And then you have a lovely, lovely presentation. We have all our different parts: boneless, skinless breast, the chicken tender, a Frenched breast, the chicken drummy, leg, thigh, dark quarter. All right, I'm gonna use all of this for my adobo. Just a quick push cut, 1/4 inch. I don't want the onions to completely melt away. A lot of garlic to slice. Little bit of oil. And then we're just gonna put the chicken skin side down. The fat from the chicken skin is gonna render. So if you're working with a big skillet, you can just push your brown chicken to the side. And I just want to lightly caramelize these onions. And yes, that is a browned piece of chicken. Onions have softened, and in goes all of our bay leaves. It's one of the hallmark flavors of the dish. I don't want to burn the garlic and have it turn bitter, but just 45 seconds or so in that hot pan should be all we need. Brown sugar, soy sauce, coconut vinegar, black peppercorns, coconut milk. Now we're gonna let this sauce reduce until the sauce coats the back of a spoon. Takes about 40 minutes. So while that's cooking, you wanna see something cool? I knew you would. So I'm gonna show you a cool trick how to bone out a dark quarter, and I'm gonna actually stuff it with my spring roll mixture here: ground pork, wood ear mushrooms, grated carrot, ginger, soy, garlic, rice vermicelli noodles. So all I do is I just trace with any knife. I happen to really like this paring knife, and I just make 10, 12 strokes across that thigh bone. And you can see the knuckle, and you can slip your knife underneath there and free that knuckle. Come up, feel where the leg bone is, and do the same thing to the leg bone. You just take it just by bending that over. Simple, easy way to separate that joint. And then it's basically telling you where to go. You just take out one bone at a time. There's the other side of that joint. Just make a cut. Once you've done this a couple of times, you can whiz through these. Some people take the whole bone out. I like to keep that little knuckle. I just think it's nice to have that knuckle on there. I'll do another one for you. And on this one, I will take the entire bone so you don't have that knuckle, show you a different version. Little rice wine vinegar, little fish sauce, little honey, 2 medium cloves or 1 big clove of garlic. I'm just seasoning the meat on the inside. And once we tie them, we're gonna soak that together for 15, 20 minutes before we dredge it. If you have a large needle and you have fine string that is food safe, by all means, go ahead and use it. This is just what we happen to have lying around the kitchen. You're gonna wanna leave some at the end to tie it with. I just love this because it feels like an art project. I'm going about 3/4 of an inch down the length of this between pushes with my needle. You don't need more than that. And then when I get to the very end, I just make sure that I get all of that stuffing back in there. Sometimes it tends to want to come out the end. And then just like any other sewing lesson, just come through the last few strokes you made so that it ties off in a knot. I'm going to do the same thing over here. And just remember, stuff any sausage down at the bottom, seal it in with that last piece of meat, tie it off at the end here. There you go. 2 really nice boneless stuffed chicken legs. And I usually let these just sit at room temperature. You're gonna get such penetration from the fish sauce and the honey, and then the best part is that you'll get really great adherence with your dredge. We'll check the temperature on our oil. Our adobo is done. Rice, crucial, because you want it to soak up all of the awesomeness of this incredible dish. Anybody who's ever eaten this dish will tell you that the whole point of it is the sauce. Chicken's delicious, but it's that sauce. You have this wonderful punch of the soy and the coconut vinegar. Coconut vinegar is so delicious. And so this is so rich with the coconut milk and dark meat chicken. I find the perfect foil for it is a smashed cucumber salad, just something crisp and cold and acidic. Great contrast, cold, crispy cucumbers, the soft, pliant, rich, hot chicken. Help yourself to as much of the cucumber salad as you like. Then we'll fry our chicken quarters. So here's our boneless, stuffed chicken dark quarters. And I'm just gonna give them one last little turn in there and put them into our dredge. Half cornstarch, half rice flour, and then in they go into our hot oil. Those take about 14 minutes. So the most important part of the cook process here is actually letting it rest. We want that pork and noodle mixture that's in the center to make sure that fully cooks, but we also want all those juices to also just return to the middle. So this is really super crispy. We're talking that Korean fried chicken style. Slice them into 1/2 inch to 1 inch rings. Stack them on a platter with some butter lettuce leaves, some pickled Chinese mustard greens, some pickled daikon. This is a little bit of nam jim, which is actually a Thai sauce. You can see I've hybridized this whole thing, right? For those of you that were paying real close attention, this is a sticky rice basket. I soak the glutinous rice overnight, then I load it up into my cheesecloth, put it into the steamer, let that go for about 20, 25 minutes. But when I serve it, I love to use these little guys. Standard utility knife never lets me down. I love this knife. If you like fried chicken and you like the flavors of Thailand and Vietnam, that is some crazy good food. Super moist, crunchy on the outside, beautiful pork force meat on the inside. A couple of pickles to reset the palate, and sticky rice loves being dunked into sauce. All of our recipes and our sub-recipes are at andrewzimmern.com. I love this.